she and her team has said that it was not used for anything but unclassified work. You know, we don't undergo scans of everyone's unclassified email to make sure they're only doing unclassified work. So I don't think there was any indication she was doing anything but here. So I don't think it's really a pertinent question.
That is State Department spokeswoman Marie Harf reacting to the news that former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton used her personal email address to conduct State Department business and kept it on a server reportedly registered to her own home.
Mrs. Clinton responded to the controversy overnight, though, going to Twitter and saying, quote, "I want the public to see my email. I asked the state to release them. They said they will review them for release as soon as possible."
For more on this story, let's bring in Matt Whitaker, former U.S. attorney, currently the director of FACT, the Foundation for Accountability and Civic Trust, a government ethics watchdog group. Matt joins us via Skype from Des Moines, Iowa. We likewise are joined by Congressman Bob Walker, and here on the anchor desk by former Congressman Mark Foley as well. Matt, these emails, I'm sure they can shed light on a whole lot of issues, including Benghazi, and your group is demanding that the Attorney General and the Justice Department take action. What do you want to see come out of this?
Well, we'd like to see something that isn't a two-step review where first Secretary Clinton gets to review these emails and then give them to the Department of State, and then the State Department reviews them. So what we'd really like to see is all of the emails, and I think the public should get that. You know, the accountability in Washington, D.C., and especially among Secretary Clinton, is just not there. And I think a lot of Americans don't trust them. Don't trust former Senator and Secretary Clinton. And so, you know, we need to see them all to really know the inner workings of not only her as Secretary of State, but also the interactions between her and the Clinton Foundation and all the moving parts that are going to be part of her apparent now presidential campaign.
Yeah, this is Bob Walker. My concern is that she's had now a long time to scrub a lot of her own emails. And now we hear the State Department is going to take and look through them again to decide what the committee can see and what they can't. Doesn't it strike you that this is a real problem in that the State Department can take long time to go through what they regard as thousands of emails?
Oh, yeah, it's tremendously concerning. And I mean, I'm not sure we'll ever get a clear picture of the business that was being conducted. And, you know, the thing that we also should be concerned about is that somebody has their own email server at their home that is conducting official business. And I would imagine the State Department has tremendous, security issues. And a lot of people understand that really all servers in the United States are under constant attack from hackers from Russia, from China, and elsewhere. And I think this raises just so many concerns. But yeah, I'm not sure we'll ever see the full deck of emails from Secretary Clinton.
It raises concerns, but did she violate federal law, Mark?
I think so. I mean, Lois Lerner, Secretary of State, using their own email addresses.
But the specifics on, the federal records law, that didn't happen until after she left office.
It's still, when you're in government, you use government servers, you use government emails. You know that. And, the Democrats found my emails. We can't find theirs. It's very interesting to me. It really is. Security of our nation, discussing trade, discussing security, and she's on her own server. It absolutely makes no sense.
Well, let's go to the former U.S. Attorney Mark Whitaker out there in Des Moines. What about the Federal Records Act? Did Hillary break the law, in your opinion?
Well, you know what? The act has very few consequences, even if she broke the law. To some extent, it's to keep government records so that future generations and future administrations and private citizens can review these things. And what we've seen right now is that she didn't follow the rules. There is no criminal sanction under the archive law that we can find here at FACT. And so, some of it is a very sophisticated Clinton State Department that figured out that they could do this without many consequences, if any.
Well, mindful of that, Mark, excuse me, Matt, let me turn to Bob Walker very quickly for the last word. Bob, 30 seconds. So if there are no criminal sanctions, what does this mean? It's just the courtroom of public opinion for Hillary? And we're hearing privately the Democrats want some distance. Does she hang in and end up as a presidential candidate? 20 seconds on that, Bob.
Well, I don't know how it's going to impact her as a political candidate. I've always had some suspicion she wasn't going to run. But the fact is that what we're seeing here is a pattern. You have the EPA, the IRS, now the State Department, where private emails are being used for controversial things. And I think it's that pattern that will impact any presidential candidate that the Democrats put up next year.
And there is more to come here on America's Forum right after this.